Yo, man. Hey, I mean, where's this guy at, man? I'm at the address. I'm here. I'm at the address. Now, where's this guy at? I'm waiting for this guy. I gotta call him, man. Hey, where you at, man? Where's this guy at? Man, these musicians, boy, I'm gonna tell you, man. You be out here waiting for these guys, man, and these superstar guys, boy. Oh, there he goes. Whoa, check this out. Check my man out. Come on, Calhoun. Yo, baby. Oh, baby.
I forgot, man. I had to go see. Oh, man, I'm sorry, man. Man, I knew you were supposed to be here, man. I wasn't even paying attention to my watch, dude.
Man, you Hollywood dudes, man. Come on, man.
I had to do this for the bro.
Man, check this dude crib out. Woo! Plaques everywhere. Platinum. Gold. Let's see what he doing in here. Sound like he in here bumping, boy. Let's see what's going on. Yo, Calhoun. Come in. Yo, what's that, man? Yo, man.
What's up, boy?
Hey, man.
Hey, man. Thanks for having me, bro.
Thank you,
for
man.
coming out, kicking it with me.
Welcome to the Cheron Moore Show, a segment I call Extraordinary Drummers.
Yeah, right.
Look who I got. Look who I got.
Yeah,
Look who I got,
I
y'all.
don't think so.
Hey, Calhoun, you ready?
Oh,
Ladies and gentlemen, help me welcome, if you will, please. Raymond Calhoun.
man, honor.
Y'all know him from everybody. Gap Band, you name it.
Yeah, man. It's a lot of years, bro. We've been knowing each other a long time, bro.
Humping.
Humping days.
Hey, let's do this, man.
Oh, yeah, let's do this. Let's
All
talk.
right.
Come
Let's
on,
do
give me
it.
this.
All righty.
Give you a seat, man. Have a seat. We can just talk.
Calhoun. That's it. That's it right there. Look at you, man.
Nah, man.
Look
God
at
is
you,
good,
man.
bro. God has really been good.
42 years now?
Professionally, about 42 years since I was, what, 19?
Raymond, let me take you all the way back.
Okay.
How did it start? At what age did you start playing, hitting the pots and pans, or how did you get started as a young kid?
I was a drummer. I was raised playing jazz.
Oh, really?
Playing jazz in D.C. Was my basic upbringing. I've been playing since I was 5 years old. Played in church,
Sure.
for my mom,
Sweet.
But jazz was my thing. You know what I'm saying? And then I played in the jazz bands in school and stuff like that.
How did you go about making a name for yourself around town in Washington as you was coming up as a young man?
I didn't really make a name for myself around town, D.C.
Because
Because D.C. was a go-go town.
That's what I was going to say.
I knew all the guys.
Name? Chuck something.
Chuck Brown.
Chuck Brown.
I knew Chuck Brown growing up.
Oh, you knew Chuck Brown. Oh, Chuck.
I might have get a gig with him once growing up. But Ricky Wellman was a good friend of mine.
Wow.
Ricky Wellman was the drummer that played on Busted Loose.
Yeah. Did you know the guys that they're doing the butt?
Yeah, EU. We all went to school together.
Wow.
All those guys.
That's
Bear,
funky, boy.
Bear and all of us. We all went
Wow.
to school together. I went to McKinley Tech. They went to McKinley Tech. So we all went to school together. What I'm saying? So EU and so I was into jazz. Those guys were into go-go. I really wanted to play jazz, bebop, fusion.
Wow.
Billy Cobham was a huge influence. Tony Williams was a huge influence. Elvin Jones, Art Blakey.
Wow.
Those kind of drummers I was listening to. Max Roach.
Yeah.
My first big gig was with the Manhattans. I was like 19 years old. Coming out of D.C. Howard University.
Washington, D.C.
Yeah. Didn't even have a chance to go to school because I was working at a music store out there. And a buddy of mine that played with the Manhattans said, hey man, they're holding auditions for percussionists. And I was a percussion major. In school, just got in school at Howard. And working my way through school, working at the music store. And he said, hey man, the Manhattans are auditioning percussionists in New York. So you should try to come up and audition for the gig. I should tell him His name was Glenn. I used to sell him drumsticks. That's why I met him.
Heavy sex dude?
No, you don't even know. He's somebody I grew up with.
All right.
Glenn. So Glenn said, come up to New York, man, and audition. And I went up there, and I got the gig from the box, and I never looked back. My dad was like, "Are you gonna finish school, or you gonna go on the road?" And I said, "Well, Dad, this might be my only opportunity. So I'm gonna have to pass on school right now." I was 19 years old, so I passed, and I only did like 6 months at Howard and shit. So I ain't really I guess I really ain't a student. I really didn't go there because I was only there for 6 months.
Yeah.
But then I went on the road with the Manhattans, and I spent 2 years with them. But you know my background. I did 2 years with them, and then I was with Peaches and Herb, who were from Washington D.C.
What was that tune?
Reunited.
Yeah.
Shake Your Groove.
Shake Your Groove thing.
When
Yeah.
those songs came out.
They were hot.
Oh, yeah, they were hot.
You was with them doing the hot.
Yeah.
Ooh, man.
Right when those two songs came out.
Yeah.
So I stayed with them for about a year. Then one day I was in Cincinnati, going to see my buddy that played drums with Teddy Pendergrass. And when I went up there to see him, James Carter is his name. He's from Baltimore, bad drummer. He's a singer-songwriter now. But James said, "Hey man, the Gap Band's playing up in Indianapolis with Rick James and somebody else. They might be looking for a percussionist. You know what? And one of my friends is playing. They were on the show with Natalie Cole. He said one of my friends with Natalie Cole is down the hall in the dressing room. His name is Bobby Eaton. So I went down, and he said he took me down the hall and introduced me to Bobby. He said, "Bobby, this guy right here, is a percussionist. He's looking to play with somebody." And Bobby said, "You know what? Charlie and them was my boys. You should drive up to Indianapolis and tell them that Bobby Eaton told you to come up there and ask him for a gig." Sure enough, that's what I did. And I drove up to Indianapolis. By the grace of God, for some reason, I got backstage without a pass or nothing. And I met the brothers. And when I first,
Wilson's brothers, right?
yeah, when I met the Wilson brothers, when I first met them, it was crazy because they took me in to meet him. This guy, Cheron, guitar player.
Mm-hmm.
He took me in to meet him, and he started laughing at me. And they started laughing, and I was like, "What y'all laughing at, man?" And then Charlie was like, "Man, you look like my brother more than my own brothers." That's what we laughing about. And so he kind of said, "Man, you favor my brother, my family, or something, So I guess that was a plus, So he said, "Well, all right, I'm gonna take your number." I told Jeffrey Lakes to take my number, and I wrote it on a piece of paper. So they, about 2-3 weeks later, man, I got a phone call. I was like shocked. I was like, "What?" Yeah, they said, "Charlie wants you to come out to L.A. and audition, playing percussion." He didn't know I played drums. So I came out to L.A. and went down to the Total Experience on Crenshaw and auditioned, playing percussion. And then I said, "I play drums too." And they said, "Let me hear you." So I went over and sat on the drums, and Ronnie wasn't doing nothing. Then they heard me playing drums, and they was like, "Wow, this dude played drums and percussion." So Charlie was like, "Okay, I want both of y'all to play. And we're going to switch it off." And that was it. I was in the band.
Raymond, tell me a little bit about this Anita Baker plaque here.
That's the best of Anita Baker. She basically used some of the songs from the Songstress album on that particular album. I think that album went platinum. I forgot what it is, 1 million sales on that album. And I played on 3 or 4 or 5 cuts on her Songstress album. So they sent me a plaque for the best of album.
Raymond, tell me about the Shante and some of these other awards I'm looking at. Congratulations, by the way.
Oh yeah, Shante. I got my first pop award from Shante for the song "Happy," where she sampled "Outstanding" as well, and used a rendition of "Outstanding" for the song called "Happy." And that album went triple platinum. And then I got a pop award over there from BMI for that same album for radio with BMI. And then James Ingram, that was my first experience ever working with Quincy Jones. I worked on James' album, It's Your Night. I played on a ballad on that record called She's the Best. No, 'Cause She Loves Me. That's what it was.
You know, Raymond, you've been with Gap. Now Gap X we're going to talk about, but you was with Gap Band about 33 years, huh?
Yeah, longer than that.
33 years.
I mean, since 79, and then, you know, when Charlie went solo, it's kind of when the Gap Band thing fell apart. But yeah, long time, bro. A lot of records, a lot of tours. You know, God was good to me, and it blessed me in ways that I didn't, Charlie came to us and, talking about music. So I remember when Charlie first came to us and said, you guys, if you guys want to make money other than touring, then y'all got to write songs. I remember distinctively walking down the street one day, and I had tears in my eyes, and I was like praying because it was rough, They didn't take care of us when we came off the road, so money was tight, and I remember saying to myself and praying, God, show me a way. Show me a way, you know what I'm saying? And I walked by SIR on Sunset. And when I was walking by SIR, they had some used gear out there on the curb selling stuff. So they had a used Fender Rose piano, suitcase piano out there. And I walked up to the guy and I said, how much is that keyboard there right there, man? He said, it's $300. And I was like, dang, I looked at my little checkbook. And I said, that's about what I got in my savings right now, $300. And I said, you know what? I'm going to buy it. And I said, I'll take that, man. So I took it and put it in my car and drove home with it. And was so excited, got in the living room with it. And my wife was in there at the time. I said, look what I bought with my last $300 in the bank. She said, Charlie, and I said to her, Charlie told us that if you want to make money, you got to write. So I'm going to sit here and write. Give me a beer. And let me make a go at it, you know what I'm saying? So she handed me a beer, and I sat down at the piano, and I had already been kicking around these same chords since I was a kid. These are the only chords I knew, really. I didn't know a lot of chords. So I just started messing with these chords. And the thing I came up with the whole groove, the bridge and the chords and the arrangement, and I was, came up with the track, cut 2-track on, and recorded the track first, the piano parts and the bridge and everything. And I said, how you like that? And she's like, oh, I like that. That's kind of cool. So and then I said, I gotta go to the bathroom. I said, hold up, this is true, man. So I went to the bathroom. When I was in the bathroom, I was sitting on the toilet. That ain't no joke. I was sitting on the toilet, and I was excited about the chords that I wrote. And I said, Shell, bring me a pad and a pen. So she bought me a pen and a pad, and I started writing these words. And then the first word that popped in my head was outstanding. Girl, you knocked me out. That was the first thing I wrote down. And I was writing a song basically about my daughter. Because she was on the couch. I was trying to think of something that would inspire me. And my young daughter Mika was inspiring me. So I was writing it about her. Trying to write a song about my beautiful little daughter. How outstanding she was. Then I went in there and I sat back down at the piano after I got finished. And I had already had a whole verse going. And I started playing it, man. With the piano part that I had. It just came out of nowhere. The whole song and melody just came from nowhere. And finally I had gotten and wrote all the words and the chorus and everything. Then I finally had it and I put on the tape recorder and I started singing. Outstanding, girl, you knock me out. Excited, you make me want to go. Girl, you lose me now. You get finer every day. Wish that I could love you right in a special way. You light my fire. Then I went there and then I did all of that Edited everything, put it on tape, on a cassette. And then the next day I ran down to the studio to let Charlie hear that shit. No, I shouldn't be cussing, but I was excited. So I ran down to the studio to let Charlie hear it. And Charlie was in the control room, and he's like, man, I like that. That's catchy. Go in there and record it. He wanted to see if I could put it down by myself. So I went and started with the drums. And then I put the piano down. Then I put the mini move, and I put the bass move part down. Then he said, okay, sing your melody. And I put the vocals down. And he sung exactly what I sang. He just got on top of it and sang exactly what my melody, everything, my words. And he kept me in there with his voice. A lot of people don't know that. I'm in that song with Charlie's voice on that song. You just got to listen.
Wow.
So he kept it. And then, to me, it was just a song. But it was the first song I had ever written. And I was like, I'm getting a song on the Gap Band's album. That's all that matters to me. And I had no idea that it was going to be a hit, any of that. I just did it the way I did it. And I remember leaving and going home and told her, Charlie didn't record my song, okay? And she was like, oh, that's cool, yeah. And then the next day they said, Calhoun, come down to the studio, man. We want you to hear something. So I came down to the studio the next day, and Charlie and them had been up all night in the studio, putting the sweetening on it, getting on it. He was just inspired. He got on the song. And I came in the control room, and I was like, Charlie, when he put his voice on something, it's just like magic. You know what I'm saying? So that's how that came about, bro.
Strength to keep you on the move. Y'all hear me sing it? Everybody sing. I'm standing. Girl, you rock the light. So exciting. Sister, you makes me want to shout. Girl, you looking sweet tonight. You get finer every day, girl. I wish that I could love you right in a special way, girl. You light my fire. I feel alive. You blow my mind. Gee, I feel so lucky tonight, to be right here at St. Thomas. 'Cause I really love the way you love it, girl. But everybody else. And y'all know the song, y'all help me sing this song tonight. Sing it, y'all. Just a little bit of love. ready to dance. Girl, you knock me out. Know you knock me out. Sorry. Jumping on that girl. It's really warm inside. Break this mother down. Wait a minute, hold on.
You know, a lot of people thought that the beginning of Humpin', where he says, Calhoun, you ready, that it was probably at a concert hall, and you
No.
way up on a riser, and
It was in a raggedy studio with me down on the floor trying to fix the drum head. He said, Calhoun, you ready? And I said, yeah! And I jump up on the drum seat and that's exactly how that song came about. In terms of pocket, I hit the same spot. If I play anything like Humpin', for example.
Are you using limbs to create the power? Is it more shoulders, more elbows, more from the thighs? Where are you getting the power from?
When it comes to my snare, I think it's the way I flip my wrist.
Oh, I see. Ah, I got it. Gotcha.
If you look at what I'm doing with the snare,
Yeah.
it's like I go over like, and I play rim shots. Pretty much. I really, unless I have to, I'm playing the center. But I can't get the same power by playing it in the center as I can.
Oh, I see.
The kick drum is, I'm playing flat-footed.
So when you say flat-footed, that's for the young students. You're not playing on your toe, and you're not
I'm not
playing.
playing with my toes like this.
Right.
I'm playing completely like this.
Wow.
You know, my foot straight. And
Right.
I get my power from that. And, you know, my calves are pretty hard, you know, from playing that like that for so many years, you know what I'm saying? So, I you know, it's rare that I can get any. Sometimes I can go up on the ball of my foot, but for the most part, it's always flat-footed.
Raymond, tell me about that awesome snare drum company that you're working with.
Oh yeah, Cannabis.
Cannabis.
In Japan.
Sweet.
I picked them up one year when I was over there working with Tito Jackson, and they gave me a sweet snare drum. Just like I don't even use any other snare live other than this Cannabis snare drum. It's just it's made out of this wood called Sokovia. It's a 200-year-old tree that they make this drum out of.
Raymond, I want to talk about your latest project.
My latest project is basically Gap X the band. What Gap X the band is, it's basically all the original guys that played on the tracks and toured with the Gap band, the brothers. Myself, Oliver Scott, Billy Young, Roman Johnson, Terry Scott, and we have a new singer, Max Salter. This sounds a lot like Charlie. So we're able to go out and do the Gap band's catalog under the name Gap X the band. So y'all look out for that name. We're doing a lot of stuff, man. You know, we actually got a single we get ready to drop for the band, a new single. And yeah, so we're working, man. You know, we're working every month as Gap X the band. You can go check us out on our Facebook page or on YouTube. Find us on there. You know, listen to some of the shows we're doing.
Let me close us up. A lot of kids, a lot of beyond that, listened to you for years. You're definitely one of the guys that set the pace, set the standard, set the trend, the fad for many years now. We said 33 in Gap Band and what, 42 overall in the industry?
42 in the industry, yeah.
Would you speak to the young musicians coming up, the drummers especially, out there in Camerland, and leave them a word of advice, leave them a word of direction?
The only direction I can say is stay strong, stay focused, you know, develop your own thing. I notice in a lot of the drummers, they all sound the same to me. You know, all of the fast, you know, chops, and that's great. But you know, if you're going to develop something like that, have something different about it. You know, that's kind of what we did, to just develop our own feel and our own sound for those records. But just stay strong and just do more than just play drums. Though I'm gonna tell you like Charlie told me. You know, if you want to really make money, become a writer and become a drummer and a songwriter, because that way you can put bread on the table while you're still trying to play all of those chops. You know, because chops ain't gonna put the bread on the table like songwriting will. And I speak for that one myself. You know, so I focus nowadays more on writing than I do playing drums. As a matter of fact, I made more money writing than I did playing drums. You know, so that's all I can give you advice. And stay humble. That's one of the main things right there. Just stay normal, stay regular, man. Ain't nobody trying to see no arrogant, over the top, big head ass, you know, egomaniac drummers. You know, all them, you know, just stay humble, man. Say hi to people. You know, they remember you.
Let me say thank you.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you, brother.
Appreciate you.
Ah!
Definitely.
Raymond Calhoun.
Humble.
Don't get no better than that.
Yeah, right.
Thank you for being here at Extraordinary Drummer Show.
Okay.
Really appreciate
Thanks
it.
for having me.
Will you help us say bye to all the guys out there?
Peace.
All right,
We
y'all.
out.
Later from the Cheron Moore Show.
Later.
Bye now.
Gap X the band. Come check us.
Where's all the humming people at?